it's a team event. You got 5 heartbeats, 2 horses, 2 guys, and a steer. That's the life of being a healer. It's like a receiver. You know, if quarterback hits you in the numbers, there's definitely the ones you hit in numbers, you don't mess those. You're just not allowed.
I see a lot of wide receivers yelling at their quarterbacks too. I mean, do you yell at your quarterback?
Just my brother.
You can take 2 good ropers and you put them together. And he says they'll rope good, but he says they're not going to be a great team unless they got love.
Yeah.
Looks like I
Explain that
love.
for me. You're paying your bills based off your partner.
Yeah.
And your partner's your brother.
Yep.
Tell us about that. How hard is that?
Yeah.
2023 was probably the craziest year I've personally seen a rodeo guy have.
When was that? 3rd week of July when that happened? When the wreck happened?
And it was probably the worst thing I ever seen. I wouldn't wish it upon anybody, but just the dealing with the horses and cutting them out and everything, it was quite gruesome, and just you wish you never have to do that ever again.
14 episodes in. They fly by, too.
They fly by.
But
Life flies by, man. It's 2025.
It's 2025. 2024 flew by.
Flew by, yeah. What a year.
What an amazing year. We're going to get our new intern, Wyatt Harris, Ty's younger brother, situated here. He's doing some vlogs in the background. Get him set up.
First day
on the job. It's going great. Oh, yeah.
When you try to hit on this podcast, doesn't matter. You just let it go as long as the conversation feels right.
I got questions in my. I got a 6-shooter right here in my hip. As soon as it's getting a little dead,
Got 1 left in the chamber.
I got 1 left in the chamber, and if I fire that one off, and then we're done. Welcome. Thanks for watching another episode of the podcast.
Especially what happens when we have new guests that we aren't fully 100% comfortable with, because then when it feels like it's dead at the end, you're like just scrambling.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like we keep our composure though. The average fan wouldn't know.
I feel it. I've watched some of our stuff and it feels a lot worse than it actually looks.
100%. I'll be sitting
It
there,
always does.
and then we'll hit this number, Peyton. We'll go like I'll
We'll
look
always
at
look at each
I'll look
other.
at Ty, and he'll look at me, and when he looks at me, and I don't have a question, I'm like, you got to pull something out of your butt right now. Like I know he has nothing, so I'm like,
you picked the right man for the job for that.
and then that's where I start talking. I'll ramble. So I remember, a few years back,
But usually by then I can jump in there.
and then we'll find the lane and we'll hit it.
All right.
But
Do we need to do an intro, me and you, or?
Well, welcome back to the Let's Freakin Rodeo podcast, guys. First podcast of 2025. Pretty special, pretty fun. This is episode 14. We've made it 14 in. Hopefully 50, 100, heck, 200 more. Just getting started, but
thanks to each and every one of you that have listened so far and liked and commented and subscribed and just been true to us and faithful. We love bringing this stuff to you and excited for the future. We're really excited about today's.
Yeah, today in the podcast we're gonna have basically the first podcast guest. When we thought about a podcast, this is who we thought of first. One of Ty's homies. He's known him his whole life. Growed up with them, youth rodeoed with them. Happens to be one of the best team ropers on the face of the planet. But we're going to make you wait till you get it. You probably didn't know who it is because of the title and the hook. But we're going to get in the podcast with Paden here in a minute. So that's going to be exciting. But I guess this is the first time we've recorded, because the Click Thompson we had in the vault, we recorded that last year. This is kind of the first time since the NFR that we're recording anything.
For sure, yeah. No, it feels kind of a little strange in front of the camera.
I know.
It's taking me a second. Yeah, it's taking me a second to get back dialed in. But I'm so excited about this one because ever since I can remember, me and Peyton were tight, like best friends. Like he's like family. The Brays are like family to me. And I mean that there's not a person that's more loyal and just always on my team and on my brother's team, and just knowing he's got my back always our whole life. So pretty excited, and he's done amazing things. We made nationals together in high school. We made our first American rodeo together. We've been in the box for each other at the Thomas and Mack, and I know we have a lot more stuff coming in the future and a lot of big things coming. So pretty
Peyton's
excited.
been there for all your biggest wins. You've been there for majority of his biggest wins.
For sure.
I have the video from the American 2023. I didn't even realize that you look back. He's in every clip. Every photo.
Oh, me and him would lock eyes when I was coming back to my horse. I mean, it was just, and I still remember that to this day.
The infamous celebration with Ty Brogan and Brogan,
and the one
Braden.
before that, I was giving him this.
That was
the run
to
before.
Peyton.
Yes, that was to Paden. We'll go in. That was the 6'9".
For
that was the 6'9" to make it to the 4-man round.
Yeah.
It just felt easy, and just walking back doing this, and man, what a feeling, you know.
Yeah. And then the infamous Brogan, Braden, and Paden celebration and the yelling after. That's cool.
For sure.
But
and he sent me a picture the other day in the box set to the 2017 American, the one we both qualified for the first time, when I went 7:01 on Ruby, and he's in the background
You're
picture.
1 out.
Yeah, 1 out. I
Yeah.
mean, that was 7 years ago. You know, it goes back to that far. So pretty cool.
Again, before we get into the podcast, I think it'd be good to talk about the merch. I mean, we never really shout out the merch on the podcast, but as y'all know, we've been slowly sending it out, slowly getting more designs. 2025, that's a big emphasis for us. We have this brand new hat, the Sorry I Was Roping hat. It's actually his idea. He's like, dude, that's going to be big. All these dudes who are at these jackpots wanted to be roping, numbered ropings. I mean, so we think it's going to be big. We hope y'all like it. And obviously the hat that Peyton and Ty are wearing, simple trucker cowboy cap. So with our logo on it, we think it's going to be good. So if you want to shop merch, letsfreakinrodeo.com. Go get you one and post some pictures of it, and we'll maybe feature you on the Instagram too. We love that.
Yeah, post some pictures wearing our stuff and tag us, and you never know what you might get in the mail.
Since
I haven't done nothing, man. I flew from Vegas to Mexico, got some stem cell stuff done, and I'm supposed to have to take 3-4 weeks off after that. I haven't got to do anything, man. I've been crawling out of my skin, bored as crap. So I get to rope next week. In 6 days, I'll be running one in San Diego, and I'm pumped.
But after you have the stem cells, you're supposed to wait 30 days. You got the stem cells
The 17th.
But
I'm sorry, the 16th.
So, but it's
It'll be
gonna
a little less than a month.
It's gonna be right at it. No practice headed into San Diego.
No practice, but San Diego Rodeo, you can't turn down the opportunity to go rope for that kind of money. In a cool atmosphere. I mean, Petco Park, Calgary Stampede, C5 Rodeo.
Yeah.
Went through a lawsuit and did a lot of stuff to be able to have that rodeo for us, and I want to support them and get to rope for that kind of money. I mean,
yeah, I heard the whole city was trying to shut that thing down, huh?
San Diego
or something.
And here's the deal: it's a very small percentage of people, but they cause a ruckus. Hopefully, we can inform people more to what we do, into the lifestyle that we live, to where they can understand why we love this so much, and why it's our entire life in the Western industry.
Yeah, that's gonna be big. I think it's gonna be fun for a guy like you when you rope. I mean, you go 30 days no practice. I mean, no human being is invincible. You know, if you don't practice, you're not going to perform as good. But at the same time, you've roped calves since you were 4 years old. I mean, what is 30 days no practice going into? I mean, it's a massive rodeo. Some of the best guys in the world going to be there.
No, we'll see. I mean, obviously, I'd feel a lot more comfortable and a lot more confident if I was practicing every day coming into it. But it is what it is. I'm not gonna not take the opportunity to get to rope at a rodeo like that, So
well, another question too. You just battled it out 2.5 weeks ago in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
What did you end up finishing? Number 4?
I finished 4th in the world. Yeah.
Well, before I even asked the question I was going to ask, I mean, that's the highest finish you've ever had.
By far. I've finished 9th once, and so it's 5 spots better than I've ever finished before. Yeah.
What's so crazy about the sport of rodeo? We've talked about it probably before, but you're going to San Diego in 7 days, and Denver is the 26th. The short goes 26, 28.
Yeah, I got the 23rd, yeah.
23rd, then short goes shortly after. It just starts going.
It starts rolling.
New season.
No off season.
Yeah, there's no off season really. I mean, we had a month from Vegas to Denver really. So Denver starts our PRCA season. San Diego's an open rodeo that's put on by C5 Rodeo in Canada. It's a great opportunity for us to go make money and to go compete against the best guys in the world, but it doesn't count towards the PRCA standings. So in our PRCA season, I have a month off from the NFR of Denver. And when Denver comes, you got Denver, Fort Worth, straight into San Antonio, Tucson, Jackson, Houston, Austin, to the California run in April, to San Angelo Rodeo. The American is in April. Guyman's in first week of May. Then you got a month from there. Those are my kind of 2 months off, I would say, from Vegas to Denver, and then from Guyman to the start of the summer run. Those are my 2 months where I have time at home, whether it's practicing or chilling or whatever it is. That's when I'm home and I don't go anywhere. It's kind of, and it's self put too. There's places you can go in May. I just really don't. I like to stay at home and practice or get whatever fixed I need to do, or just kind of get dialed in ready for the summer, because we leave in June for that 90 days, and that's You want to have all your ducks in a row and everything ready to go, because enough stuff's going to happen out there when you get on the road in the summer that you want to have everything as ready as can be.
It's going to feel like a gauntlet from June to September. Is going to feel like a gauntlet. Why put yourself in another month added onto it for no reason?
Yeah,
when you
I like
can
to take
rest?
that month off and of traveling.
Do you feel like, 2 weeks off, 3 weeks off? Do you feel like excited to go for a new season? Or are you kind of like trying to get yourself back up after?
Man, this is the first time I've ever been really excited to go to Denver, honestly.
Really?
Like, usually after the NFR, it's this or it's that or whatever. Actually, I guess 2020, right after my first NFR, and then this one.
Yeah.
After 2019 NFR, I was pumped. I was ready to go. But man, this is the second time, I guess, that I've been like, man, let's freaking rodeo, baby. And this time of year.
Well, it's going to be excited. You can watch Ty and a lot of guys in San Diego the 7th. They televise that, do you know?
10th through the 12th. And it's going to be on the Cowboy Channel.
Cowboy Channel. Denver obviously will be on the Cowboy Channel, Denver Rodeo. And then basically, because of rodeo, every weekend, every week, you'll have something to watch. Keep up with your guys. Find out your favorite Cowboys. Find their schedule and keep up with them.
Find their schedule, watch them. Hopefully you meet some Cowboys that you want to follow on our podcast and become fans of.
Another thing, my documentary Journey to the NFR Part 2 is coming out, and I don't have an exact date, but the next couple months. And so if y'all seen the last one, or if you haven't, go to my YouTube, Cole Harris, and watch. Basically, I followed this guy, Haven, Shad, Riley Webb, Tough Cooper, Bo Cooper, Shane Hanchy, seven calf ropers doing a part 2, but it was at the NFR this year. So Shad, Riley, Ty, Haven, Hanchy, Joel Braden even did good. I mean, the top 5 guys in the world in calf roping were in my documentary, and I got exclusive access, never before seen, like behind the scenes stuff that I think y'all will love. I'm hoping to get some rodeo legends on this documentary, interview them. I'm hoping to put together a project that y'all like, and so just be on the lookout for that and support. I'd really appreciate it, but I really appreciate you watching. I put all this effort into it. Please watch the documentary.
All right.
But you ready to get into the podcast?
Yes, sir. Paden
Cool.
Bray, PB.
Peyton Bray.
Let's Freakin rodeo.
Take on some
Okay, come on, baby.
PB. How are you, buddy?
It's good. Glad to be here in Angelo.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to the Let's Freakin Rodeo podcast. We've talked about it for months.
You're actually the first person I said, man, I think gonna start this podcast, and you're supportive but a little bit confused at the same time.
Literally.
He ain't throwing much at me that I haven't tried to handle myself.
Yeah.
I mean, we did the one in Angelo. That was actually that. So when we were talking about the idea of starting a podcast, remember here, Angelo, last year, April 2024, we got you on. We talked for, I think it was Lip Chip is what we did some interviews for. And that podcast is what gave us the comfort, and like we felt good enough to do the Let's Freakin Rodeo podcast. So thanks to you, bro.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. So just finished it. Like we talked about, we just finished the 2024 season. Yours did not go how you wanted it to go. Tell us about it, man.
Yeah. Peaks and valleys. This is the third time that I did not make the NFR that I've tried. And, obviously it's a deal where, you're not where you want to be. It's kind of it's a mental game. I mean, it's tough out there. I mean, there's no rainbows and sunshines all the time. It's good for me in a way though, because to be able to mentally stay strong is what I've been kind of working on a little bit, but to be able to handle that pressure and stuff. And we had a chance to, like, the very last day, had a freak little thing happen. But I mean, to be able to have a chance the last day was not a bad deal for a season with my brother and I. It was the first year roping together. But I tell you what, I think what I wanted to look at positively is, you know what I'm talking about, but roping on the bubble, when you're rodeoing and competing on the bubble where you can't make mistakes, you can't mess up. I'm just really kind of hoping that, which I've been in that situation a handful of times. So I honestly, if anything, I feel fairly comfortable. It almost feels like another year kind of deal. But that's kind of happens in our sport. There's peaks and valleys.
Yeah, I mean, you're always been one of the most confident guys that I've known. I mean, you always, and it's never a doubt, that you're going to go do your job and up 2 feet. Obviously, though, that doesn't come easy. So, what do you do to be confident right there? You mean when you haven't done, let's say you haven't done good the last few weeks, and to when you're back in the box to know you're about to go do good. How do you get there?
Yeah, that's the hardest thing about rodeo. I mean, like we compare it to golf a lot. Hit a bad shot, then you get in the next shot. You gotta hit a good shot. But I think every PRCA guy, every rodeo guy, every jackpot guy, whatever, I think everybody battles this that 100%. I mean, that's the hardest thing about our sport is overcoming adversity, and then you wake up the next day and you do it again and again. And especially in our sport, you can win the rodeo one day and the next day it don't matter because you got close to 100 of the best guys in the world trying to beat you.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to prove it every single day. And, it's a marathon, not a sprint. But I get a lot of my peace of mind from my work, from the practice pen. And then, I feel like me and you are kind of old now. This is like going into my 6th or 7th year now. So I feel confident because I know what I'm doing now.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a job for me. I know the setup, I know the feel, I know what horse I want to ride. I'm learning to do that more with the calf roping, but like the heeling, I feel very confident because I've been there enough and I know how to do my job. So,
I mean, it was pretty bone crushing, after that last day of the season, not making the finals. I mean, why do this? I mean, what makes you want a rodeo after feeling that loss and that just that crush?
Yeah, no, it's a good way to feel it. Crush is. I mean, I don't think I talked for 2 days. I mean, it took my soul out of me, but that's where I got to be better though, is making sure I'm kind of serving the right God, I guess you can say, because the NFR, you can treat the NFR like a God and you can worship it and it can be the most important thing in your life. And that's what I honestly have to deal with, is not making it the most important thing, make sure it's God family rodeo.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but just taking care of business that way. But crush is a good way to put it. No one wants to not make it, especially the guy that's done good or had success. You
Mm-hmm.
expect to make it, and I expect to make it every single year that I put my name down. So that's just how the cards are played, and that's how they're dealt, and I gotta play them.
Yep.
But we talked about peaks and valleys. Obviously, what was the exact position you ended up at the end of this season, or 2024 season? What did you end up, 16th, 17th?
I think it was like
19th. But talk about the peaks. Give the people insight into your career of, like, you've tasted some success in your life.
Yeah, 2019 was my rookie year. Missed the finals by like 4,100, was 17th in the world. Still a good year, learning year. I needed it. Like, I wasn't ready to be an NFR hero yet. I made some mistakes, but honestly, like, I was upset, but I felt like I wasn't as good as I needed to be. And I went home and I worked on a lot of things and I got a lot more solid. And then honestly, after that year, I felt like my performance has been pretty decently on par, like just pretty solid throughout the season. And the next year was COVID year, which that was a different kind of rodeo. And we went to different rodeos. We went to different places. I mean, we drove 12 hours for 1,200.
Yeah.
I mean,
for a chance at 1,200.
Yeah, for a chance at 1,200. I mean, we weren't doing anything by the book smart, but we were trying to make it. But
and we didn't even know if we were going to have an NFR.
No, it was still on,
or what it was going to be, or how much it was going to pay.
Points.
Yeah,
it was still points, so we didn't know if we were even going to get paid full amount. But so 2020 it basically come down to whoever had the best NFR has the best chance for a gold buckle. And Eric and I were up there at Rogers my first 4 years, and he that year we won the average. We were the only team to catch all 10. And missed in Reserve World Champions. I think we missed at like 2,500 or something. If Colby Level and Paulies did not win the round, we'd have won the world. I think they had to win the round.
And looking back on 2020, that was probably a great success for you. Making your first finals, Reserve World Champion, average champion, huge success. But what happened? Tell us about what happened with your horse situation at the finals.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you had just trouble there, and you look back, and that could have been the difference in you being a world champion.
Yeah,
I mean,
the good horse, my one I've rode since day one. I halter broke him. He was a weanling. His name's Slider. That's one I heeled for Ty at the junior rodeos, the high school rodeos. Made the college finals on him. Made the NFR on him, and he's been my bread and butter for a long time. And he abscessed after round 1, we won the first round, first NFR, won the first round, and then he abscessed, and I didn't get him back till round, I think 5 or 6. And I rode my 2 other horses. I roped legs, didn't do very good. But when I got back,
what is abscessing?
It's, I don't know how to exactly explain it, but it's when they get in their foot, they get moisture or something, and it basically develops inside their foot and makes them go from being sound to dead crippled. Like
Really?
they can't walk, and then
Yeah, I don't even know how you explain an abscess, but it is not good. I mean,
yeah,
But in the foot, they can't
Yeah.
walk.
yeah. I mean, they're crippled. Yeah,
Wow.
they walk around like their legs broke, and they go from being sound to just lame.
And so
Oh, you have it
you,
right here.
yeah, we got our man here.
This is what it said. I don't know if there's more.
horse hoof abscess is a painful infection that occurs when bacteria gets trapped in the hoof capsule and forms a pus-filled pocket. It's one of the most common reasons for sudden lameness in horses.
Yeah.
Nasty.
So I had that. There's a good family friend that took him, and he went to this certain spa every day and tried to draw that out and did all this stuff you can do. But I didn't get him back till I think to round 5, and then after round 5, we got back on roll and won checks. But it would, like Ty said, it's the difference what a horse can make. Because when I was on him, I was almost 100%.
But you still called all 10 on the other horse?
Yeah, no, we
Still roping them?
Yeah, I roped legs, but we caught, we
So-
stopped the clock.
still
It was the only
doing it.
team to catch all 10, so it was
Yeah.
kind of just kind of surviving the
But
storm.
you're thinking with that other horse, you think you're feeling more comfortable, you're shooting a couple tenths off each run and potentially
100,
getting
yeah.
some more better round checks and then giving yourself a
Yeah, I mean that's the battle with all of us time event guys, and I get Bear Racers included. You know, when you have that one horse that you're dialed with or whatever at the right setup, I mean, you have all the confidence in the world. But when you lose that, it's hard to find the match, and you're hoping it. I mean, you want to do good, and you can believe you do good, but it's just not the same feel sometimes.
Yeah.
That's why horses are costing so much money nowadays, is because they are your business partner and they're your best friend, and they either make you or break you.
Yeah, we
This
talked
is
about it
fun.
last night. We were talking about, like every person has horses that come into their life and that change their career, but how long does that horse stay with that guy? How long does that horse stay in their prime without getting injured? How many NFRs are they able to get tapped off with that person? Is a huge difference maker, in my opinion, than guys that have anywhere from 0, like if no world championships to 5. A guy could have had 3 instead of 5, or 2 instead of none, just because of the horse. We heard it with Tyson Durfee's podcast talking about what happened when he lost Nico, what that did to his confidence and to his career, and if he would have ever never got Nico, he probably never would have been a world champion. He'll tell you that himself. It's just so if he had Slider all 10 nights that year, I mean,
you think you think you're walking away with the gold buckle if that horse doesn't get hurt.
I mean, I'm probably gonna win 2,500 somewhere, but
Yeah, you'd think.
there was a couple legs that he roped
yeah.
You just finished 4th, and that was your highest ever.
mhm.
You finished reserve, and we'll get into you finished reserve world twice. But after
Mhm.
that first one, are you motivated? Are you like thinking, wow, this was an amazing year? Or are you crushed because you didn't get the gold buckle?
It goes both ways. I mean, I was a little upset at myself because I felt like, I costed that 2,500 at the finals. But then again, it's like you're thankful and blessed. You had $130,000 NFR, you were roping in Texas. I mean, it was we were thankful to even get to rope. And I was thankful is a better word. I mean, first NFR, won the first round, win the average. I mean, there was so many things that lined up. I mean, it wasn't a Haven Medgen year by no means, but it was about as close as you can get. And
Yeah.
if anything, I was thankful and just super blessed because, I mean, a lot of my family was there. It wasn't an hour and a half from the house. I went home every night. I mean, it was the joy that on my family's faces, like after it was all over, like it was special to me. I'll always remember that. And my papa, he was not doing well that week, and he kind of passed away shortly after. But it was just real good for the family. I mean, it was close, and it was cool.
Yep.
Wow.
Special.
What again, was it, you told me to keep going in the storyline, but is it literally peak valley? It seemed like every year you go from reserve world
Sorry,
to
I cut him off, but so tell us about 21.
Well, 21 was the best year I ever had. Started the year off, we already won $20,000, not including the American. And that year, the American counted, and that was the year that Eric and I won the American. So
oh yeah.
I was rolling into Reno with like 75,000 won. it was the most incredible winter I've ever had, and it counted that year. So still got to pocket the other 50, but 50 of it counted, and we were rolling. I mean, we won everywhere.
And 75,000 made the NFR that year, so you had the finals made before you went to Reno. I mean,
yeah. Yeah, it was
that
one of
don't
those,
suck.
Yeah, I and you want to tell I told myself this because I'm honest and I'm a realist, and I've had years where I show up for Reno with 10,000. I've had years where I show up with 75, but I told myself to enjoy it because it's probably never going to be like that ever again.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that to talk down on my roping or talk down on my situation. I just knew that it was such a perfect situation that I better not get comfortable having that because it probably ain't going to ever happen again to that degree.
Exactly.
Just more respect for the game, really.
Yeah, and you never know when it's going to happen. I mean,
No.
That's what I told him about the 4th of July. He's like, what happened? I was like, doesn't matter how amazing you are during that time period. For that to happen to me 2 years in a row is just out of this world. You can never, even explain it. Just enjoy it.
Yeah.
Just enjoy it. Enjoy the ride because you're going to have, like we said, peaks and valleys, man. I mean,
I literally said that a whole 21 was just, I'm on the train, and then I hope it don't run out of tracks.
Yeah.
How'd the year end?
1 second again, 1 second the average, and
Back to back.
1 second in the world again. Yeah.
First time in Vegas because it was Texas 2020. So first time in Vegas 21.
For a healer, I've never team roped, but it seems like to win money in Vegas, you are literally blitzing. I mean, you are going as fast as you can. The headers are just throwing the rope before they're even out of the box. It seems like 'cause you have to be out of the box, and then you're, cranking it like and then it's like two swings and you're there. I mean, it seems like it's
No, it's fast. It's unlike anywhere we ever go. And I want to, in the timed events, it's just the most unique place we get to go. It's the shortest barrier. It's the most even, strong, sorted set of cattle we rope. It's the box, the field, the atmosphere. I mean, it's got a unique feel on its own. We can practice it. You can work at the house. You can go to different places, but that feel there has never been recreated, in my opinion.
Yep.
Well, talk about what separates different healers from each other. I mean, let's just talk. I mean, Junior is one of the most famous ones. I mean, Wesley Thorpe won the world again this year. I mean, there's a list of 10, 15 healers. What separates you from the rest, or what separates healers? Is there styles? Is there what separates healers from each other?
It's a little bit like a golf swing, in my opinion. Like, everybody's got their own swing. A lot of guys have their own style. Some guys do this, some guys do that. And you just, basically, in my opinion, you just perfect yourself. And then a lot of that comes from the header. Like, the run's got to have a love. You got to know what your header's doing. You got to know where the steer's going. You got to know a horse to ride. I mean, it's a team event. You got 5 heartbeats, 2 horses, 2 guys, and a steer. And everything's got to go together. If the header does this and I don't do this, then it don't work. I mean, everything's got to be working together. And if it's not working together, then you're just mashing against each other. So what the best guys do, in my opinion, is the best guys, when they get one spun for money, they don't miss. They do their job, and that's the life of being a healer. It's like a receiver. If quarterback sends a Hail Mary or quarterback hits you in the numbers, there's definitely the ones you hit in the numbers, you don't miss those. You're just not allowed.
I see a lot of wide receivers yelling at their quarterbacks too. I mean, do you yell at your quarterback?
Just my brother. Yeah, that's the thing. It's a little bit drama induced because of that, because you're business partners, but you're also team roping partners, and then you got all the elements in there, and then you got to work together. So it's very to be able to keep everything on the tracks as it is, and then stay positive. And because the heading to me is the hardest thing you can do. I mean, you have to nail the barrier, you have to ride your horse, you have to rope the steer around 1 of 3 legals, and then you have to handle them good where it makes my job easier, and then you have to finish too with the face. And it's the most, they have the most job, like they have more everything, like a lot of it's up to them. It's just like a quarterback. They got to call the play, they got to set it up, and then my job's to finish. My job's to not let that ball get dropped.
He always tells me to, and he can explain it for you better, but he says, you can take 2 good ropers and you put them together. And he says they'll rope good, but he says they're not going to be a great team unless they got love.
Yeah.
I was like, explain that for me.
Well, it's just like every good quarterback and receiver, you just got to have that 6th sense,
Chemistry.
Exactly. Like, if the header is, if if the header gets around the neck, they might handle them a different way. If it hits the horns tight or like if it skips on, like you got to react. Everything, you don't have time to think. Everything's off reaction. And you got to think about it. Guys that do stick together and they rope for 2 or 3 years, pretty soon they can almost rope. I'm not saying blindfolded, but they have a really good feel of what's going to happen. Like they've been the header. If the header is a good header and he shows them the same look every single time, well, a good healer is going to get that look every single time, and then he's going to be able to read off of that and have a lot of feel because he's getting the same look every time. It's just a lot of repetition, but a good header will make a great healer, in my opinion. A great header will make a great healer.
Right. If that helps, roping for a few years together, getting that chemistry, why do guys not rope for longer, more often?
Well, I think that's where you come back to the drama induced of it a little bit, because there's so many variables to it. You got this guy has a schedule, or he might want to do this, or he might want to stay with his family or whatever. So like it's like a marriage, basically. It is. The stars gotta line up. You gotta love that person, and they gotta match your work ethic. They gotta be on the same page as you. I mean, it helps if you live a little closer. If not, you got to go to this circuit, that circuit. It's just there's a lot of stuff has to line up for that partnership to, 1, work, and then 2, have love, and then 3, be efficient and win. So it's not just kind of throw it together. We'll just see how it goes. And sometimes it is like that. But
so answer how you want. You and Eric winning. Why do you and Eric split apart when y'all are winning so much?
So that was after 2021. They go reserve. What happened in 22?
I mean, we missed the finals by like $200.
$200.
Yeah, finished 17th. Yeah,
I Venmoed that to him the other day for some.
For a sports bet.
For a sport, 200.
Yeah.
Wow. And then after that, it just y'all went y'all separate ways.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Tough old road, Bubba.
Yeah.
So what other great duos can you think of that, I mean, it doesn't even have to be about the drama side of it, but just what great duos did you see roping together that never actually got to, we as fans never got to see the fullness of what they could do because they ended up splitting up early?
That's a good question. I'm not.
I mean,
it's hard to tell the future,
Yeah,
I mean,
you don't ever know.
It's hard to.
The thing is, like team ropers, we jackpot so much together, and we rope with different partners all the time. Like
really?
There's a lot of these jackpots are entered 2 to 3 times. So you're not always going to rope the same 2 or 3 partners all the time because everybody's got different stuff going on. So a lot of times you just rope with whoever you can rope with that day that wants to rope with you or whatever. So you might rope, like in a spirit, in a year period, I might rope with 10 different headers, 12, 15 different headers in a year, like at the open jackpots. So it's like, I'm not saying you're in rodeos together, but you're roping together and you're trying to make a living together.
Mm-hmm.
Which, correct me if I'm wrong, and thinking of just cool storylines. Didn't Caleb and Junior rope together for a while, then they didn't rope together, and then they started roping together, and no one remembers that. Like, no one remembers that they had a couple years. Well, I do.
Yeah, I mean, when you've had 10 great years together, and a year and a half, 2 years apart. I mean, it's you remember the good. You remember the good.
Yeah.
If you have a 12-year marriage and there was a couple off years, it's still better than most.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an amazing thing. What about
I mean, you look at the current world champions.
Thorpe?
I can't wait to get Tyler on this podcast, but I mean, he's told me word for word that if he didn't start roping with Wesley, he probably wouldn't even be rodeoing right now. And I was just 2-time world champion. Wesley, just like a horse, I think a partner can change everything.
Yep.
I mean,
it changes there. That's why we pay to play every single year. That's why we all love it, because everybody thinks they have a chance and they're going to bet on themselves every single time.
That 15 headers and healers and calf ropers that are going to be at the NFR isn't wrote down for 2025. It starts. You got to go nod your head and go earn it. It could be Joe Blow from New York. It's the best 15 ropers. I mean, from now till September 30th.
Calf roper. Trying to be an all around cowboy. Are you all around cowboy? Actually, I think last time I checked, you were number 1 in all around standings.
Yeah, it's on there for now, but just gotta match up and keep adding money to that.
How are you gonna beat Stetson?
Good luck.
I'm gonna need a higher hit, man.
Look,
Yeah, no,
cheer him on. Just go to the PBR.
yeah, no. It's what that guy has done is unbelievable. He's almost in a league of his own in a way. It's like a timary. You can throw him in that category. The rough stock riders, they are hard to deal with in the all around. If they're really good at 2 events and they make finals at 2 events, and arguably like him, you're good enough for a gold buckle in 2 events. They're extremely hard to beat.
Yeah,
what are your aspirations though in terms of calf roping? We trying to make it.
I don't want to. I love calf roping. I've always roped calves. I come here to Angelo and we practice and they help me. My practice situation is probably 80-20, team roping to calf roping. And I got a lot of respect for the game and I know how good every single guy is that made the finals. And I'm not going to, it is a goal, but it's also, I have a lot of respect for the game is all I'm trying to say. I don't get up how I want to all the time. I have to enter them separate. I can't cross event buddy.
When he says get up, he's saying like popped, like we've talked about before on the Rodeo for Dummies podcast. It's like getting entered. When he's trying to put his name down at the rodeos, he might get split up. Calf roping on Thursday at a rodeo, team roping Saturday. His priority is team roping. First off, because he has a partner. Second, because that's his main event.
Yeah, because if you're, the only way to make a team roping partnership work is I'm a first to healer, and then if it works out, I rope calves. So it takes being a good team roping partner takes complete precedence over me roping calves. That's kind of why I'm not saying I'm all the way in, because only way I could be all the way in team roping nowadays or calf roping nowadays is if I just quit team roping. And
because you're not even getting 80 rodeos in a year for calf roping.
Yeah, I've only been to like 40.
Yeah, he's never been more than 40 rodeos.
So you're not
and
even
you won like what, 30 grand that year?
Yeah, I think last year I won like 40. That year before that was like around 30. Yeah,
which is actually
that
amazing.
was a rodeo.
Yeah, which is amazing. If you double that, you're right in the hunt.
Right.
Which that used to be the rule. If you win 1,000 rodeo, like in the Cowboys' mind, you win $1,000 rodeo, you're gonna make the finals, but not anymore. It takes over 100,000.
Yeah.
So
and that's the thing too is what it taken the calf roping this year was 15th, 100,
101, 102.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Still, realistically, if I'm gonna, new year, new me, my goals are this, whatever. But 2025, it takes, I'm gonna say 115 to be safe in both my events, and to win 115,000 in both my events is not easy to do on a normal year. I'm not saying it can't be done, but it's very, very complicated to make it in 2 timed events, in my opinion. It's a little bit different than the rough stock. The rough stock, they get complete precedence on what they want. They get to know what they get to draw. They get to go to more rodeos than us, and they can fly around and do whatever. And I'm having a 5-horse trailer. I got 2 heel horses and a calf horse in the rig, and I'm having to get up, trade, do everything. And it's not always a guarantee on what I can do.
Mm-hmm.
I've had to turn out short rounds in the calf roping because I had to go to a rodeo that night.
Yeah.
So you basically,
it's a side gig,
and you're, deep in your heart of hearts, are you like, I want to make the NFR calf roping, or are you just like, I want to have fun, rope while I can, and I'm to bang for my buck? If I'm entering twice at a rodeo, I have 2 chances in Pendleton, Oregon to win money versus 1 like every other guy.
Yeah. No, 100%. I like it because I do this for a living. It's a money deal for me. I love roping calves. I get to enter a second event. I have 2 chances at money, and team roping's hard. There's highs and there's lows. Wesley Thorpe, I heard him say this one. He said 30% of the time you're on, 30% of the time your partner's on, and then you hope the other 30% you draw. So it's like for everything to kind of come together, it takes a lot for it to go into fruition. So the calf roping is a good deal for me because it's all on me and my horse. It's how I prepare is all up to me, and that's the beauty of calf roping, and that's why there's no feeling like tying a calf. And when you're blast one,
I've heard that before.
That's the best feeling in the world. Especially coming from a team roper, like there's no better feeling than making a good calf roping run and doing it right. And if I ever was to make it, it would probably be the greatest accomplishment in my career personally if I could just make the finals in the calf roping, because I just got so much respect for the game. Them guys that make it every year are so good. They ride great horses and they are solid all year long. And I just know what they do and I know what I do. And it's hard for me to be that bird sitting on the fence chirping like, oh yeah, I'm in this, and this. But I know how much they work at it. I'm not putting that work in. I only have 1 horse. I'm not hitting on all the levels that they're hitting on, and I'm not going to show up. I'm expected I can go make my run every time, but I'm not expecting to go ahead and actually.
You're a realist. You're being real. Yeah.
It's not like a lack of confidence or negative thing. It's just like you said, it's
respect
just
for the
real.
game.
Yeah.
It's a good way to put it, actually.
I mean, mentally, I think it's probably hard, no matter who you're roping with, being a team roper, like you said, relying on another person's horses, on
Schedule
to for you to do your job, for them to do their job, and be able to pay your bills. I mean, that's what you're paying your bills based off your partner.
Yep.
And your partner's your brother.
Yep.
Tell us about that. How hard is that?
Yeah. It's a family business. It's either really good or really bad, I guess.
I mean, but, when you guys make the finals, it's going to be worth it. But how hard was that last year? I mean,
no, it's hard because it's more of it was a good learning deal for me because I'm trying to learn how to be a leader. I'm trying to learn how to guide the right way, have patience, wisdom and all the things I don't really have, but it's like you said, it is a true business partnership. I mean, you have to be real with each other. You live together, you work together, you drive together. I mean, to make expenses, go a long ways. I mean, my brother see each other every day. We live together. I mean, we around each other a lot. So it's just having that good confidence and that good mentality that, a little bit kind of fake it till you make it a little bit. Like you just got to have that aura, and I'm not great at it, but you got to have that positive aura every single day because there's certain guys out there that do have that. And I think that's what makes them great and makes them, in a far contender every single year.
Yeah, I mean,
but I'm not going to tell you and preach to you that I'm great at it and all this stuff. But it's
but it's not
hard
easy.
to manage. It's very hard to manage.
That's why I wanted to ask you. It's not easy. I mean,
no,
we grew up together. I've seen you guys get in a wrestling match over your mama's last piece of pie.
Oh yeah.
Much less you miss one for 50,000.
Yeah.
What's your brother gonna do? I mean, how is he gonna feel? I mean, that's hard.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I ain't gonna fight him no more. He's too big for me to jack around with.
He's 6'9".
Yeah, he's 6'9".
Huge, dude.
So
gentle giant though.
Yeah, he's a gentle giant. No, but it's good it's just like anything. There's peaks and valleys in rodeo. This is what we do, and it happened to everybody. But what is cool though is when you do win with your brother, it's a special feeling.
Yep.
It's like it's a unique feeling. And, it's a happiness for the family because everyone is just absolutely pumped. So that's a really cool part about it.
So 2022, you missed the finals by $200. Correct me if I'm wrong, but 2023, you made it by a small amount as well.
At the last rodeo of the year, Sioux Falls.
Yeah.
Before we do that, me and Ty know, but 2023 was probably the craziest year I've personally seen a rodeo guy have. I have a smaller sample size than y'all guys, but that was a year for Paden Bray, wasn't it?
It was, it was a roller coaster. But it's a little bit like I think it's you compare it to rodeo, but I think life is just like that. I mean, there's stuff, there's adversity, there's good times, there's bad times, and you just got to roll with the punches. But I mean, over a season of rodeo, I mean, there's so many different variables. You're driving, you're going to different rodeos, you're doing this, you're doing that, you're getting on this horse, you're getting on that horse. I mean, it's just whoever can adapt and overcome, basically, in my opinion. It's a battle of the fittest for sure.
When was that? Third week of July when that happened? When the wreck happened?
Yeah, Ty and I just won Salinas. He won the calf roping. I won the all around. And talk about go from high to low. I mean, just that buckle. You can talk about it. Like that is one of the coolest buckles ever, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a buckleless buckle. We took that picture and we were just talking about all the wins that we'd had together at the same time, whether we were roping as partners or just like winning something at the same time, making our first American together, doing that. I mean, it was a big high for us. Neither of us, I think, are really too much about the trinkets, but it's just about the memories, the feeling of the success. That's a bucket list rodeo to win, and we did it that same day. And then 12-hour drive to Spanish Fork is where you were headed?
Ogden. Yeah. Had a bad truck accident, trailer flipped. Killed both my brothers' good head horses, hurt my old horse Slider pretty good, hurt another one, but he was okay. Had to cut the horses out we had to cut in by the pod, drag them out one by one. At Slider, had to pull him out with skid steer because he wouldn't get up, and it was probably the worst thing I ever seen. I wouldn't wish it upon anybody, but just the pure, the just the helplessness, the sitting on top of the trailer and you can't do nothing, and that's the worst part. And just for the horse's sake, I mean, luckily rig's totaled, but everyone in the rig was okay, and which that's thank God for that. But what just the dealing with the horses and cutting them out and everything, it was quite gruesome, and just you wish you never have to do that ever again.
Yeah, so they were driving across the salt flats, right?
Yeah.
And then the rig rolled, and
Yeah.
he was in the trailer.
And what happened? Were you and you just well?
I didn't have a scratch on me. Yeah.
But you're in. And it's,
Yeah, it was just rolling. It felt like probably like when you get in a box and your brother pushes you down the stairs.
wow.
And so some rodeo guys that you called and told about it came and kind of helped you guys.
Yeah,
and picked up the horses and stuff. And
Yeah, we had it. There was a lot of guys that offered to help, and then it was frantic. We called this guy, called that guy, and then these people showed up. These guys showed. There's a lot of people there to help. I mean, even after like everyone's offering, horses, their condolences, the whole deal. I mean, the rodeo is a really unique industry in the fact that I feel like there's a lot of. It's mainly all godly people, and everybody really comes together. And when you need help, you got help. At the end of the day, in my opinion.
Yeah, rodeo family's pretty special. So that was Monday morning, and then you went to Salt Lake. Was the next rodeo you went
Monday
to?
night.
That night. What'd you do?
Brent and I won the rodeo that night. We were
Same day.
same day. Yeah, that night. Yeah, he did an amazing job. We had other horses there and we were 3-9 in the previous round. Made it back to short round, and then he the rodeo started off tough. I remember the first team goes 4-8, second team goes like 4-3. So like I was telling myself, just do your job, whatever, just catch. And then once they did that, it's like, no, you freestyle, you do your job right here. And I seen Brenton cock it, and he did amazing and had on him so fast, and I heeled him first legal, and we won 12-5, and it was a great hit for us in the standings. And it was an up and down 48 hours.
Why
Crazy.
going back in your mindset? Why didn't you turn out?
I'm a little psycho. I had to realize that I couldn't go to Deadwood. Like we got a doctor release basically. I called Tom Glass, the CEO of PRCA, and pretty much told him what happened, and then he basically gave him my rodeos back because I told him we can't really make it there right now. But I was looking at flights and I was trying to figure it out, and then I kind of had a thought. I was like, maybe I should probably handle this deal, chill out. My family my mom and dad come up, had to handle the horse deal, like just try to get everything situated because the next week it's back to work.
Yeah. What
Crazy.
So that season ended up you made it, but your partner didn't.
Yeah,
Brenton,
it was-
right? So you had to rope with a different partner at the finals.
Yeah, Fort B Hall, we barely missed it. Clint Summers pulled off a comeback of a lifetime at Sioux Falls and had to win this much money, and we still won like 12-5 there. And I was in pretty safe, and then last minute just got him. Clint did have it. It was amazing what he did. I mean, he won like 20. I think he won 20 something, 30,000 that last day.
Yeah.
And capitalized on it. So I roped to the NFR that year with Clay Smith,
which is a world champ.
Yeah, two-time world champion.
Yeah, not as every day I guess everybody who makes NFR is good, so I guess it's like, but you think losing your partner, you're like, oh, I'm screwed. Well,
it's more the camaraderie deal for it because we started the year and, you don't never want your partner to make it. Like you said, it was, I knew exactly what he was feeling and been there on both sides of it. And it was a torn deal for me. I mean, cause he's been one of my best friends for a long time. It's who I made the American with in high school. And, it was fun to get to do it, and I really wanted to do a good enough job that I can get him there. But it's like leaving your buddy in battle, really.
Yeah.
So 2022 didn't make it. 2023 made it by safe. You said you were safe. The dollar amount's not important, but then,
it wasn't until last
weekend.
Last week.
Had to do good at Sioux Falls,
Yeah.
to make it, and did.
Yeah.
Clutched up.
And then 2024 this year, it came down to Sioux Falls, and just had a fluke deal happen. I mean,
Yeah.
Fluke deal. What was the fluke? I was there, but
I healed him, and my rope kind of got jerked out of my hand. And I lost my rope. My brother spun him to be fast, and we were going to place top 2 or 3 in the round probably. And I healed him and missed my dally and lost my rope.
figure eight, his curl came back and caught the steer's tail and jerked his rope out from his hand.
Yeah.
Crazy. What? That's the game that we play though. It just comes down to inches. I mean,
yeah, it's crazy. You go all year, and the great quote that you always say by Walt Woodard, where you really focused in Greeley. But let's just say you were a person, because Paden Bray's the type of deal where he's down. I mean, it's January and he's chomping at the bit. He's about to go somewhere tonight. I mean, he's down all year round.
mm-hmm.
It's like you like to think all rodeos are created equal, which is true, but at the same time, you go 9 months and it comes down to one run. 9-month season, 10-month, 11
That's why,
month.
like a lot of the rodeo guys say, it doesn't come down to one steer. I mean, in a way it does, but in a way, like in our mind, it doesn't come down to one steer. It comes down to the
125 before that.
Yeah. That's
what we talked about. I mean,
that's what you do, and from like you said, all year long, or that's what you do in your work. That's what you do in like preparation. Like it's a marathon, and what you do really, I like to say, what you do in January to September determines the seat you have in December.
But it's the part I'm talking about is, you go to rodeos all year, and in Greeley, you're comfortable in that box. Yeah, it's a high pressure one. You want to win, but out and go do your job. It's funny for me seeing guys do the same thing all year. Then you get to Puyallup, and then you get to the Pendleton, and then they're like, but it's so casual because everybody's like, we rodeo all year. This is the same thing we've been doing, but you just see everybody puckered up back there.
It's not easy.
It's tough.
You see the look of hope, and
but everyone knows this is a big moment in the NFL when it's a 2-minute drive and you're trying to score to win the game. But everyone in the stands is sitting there eating popcorn, drinking beer, thinking, "Oh, we're here at the fair," and PB's out there roping for his life.
Yeah, that's the big difference in professional sports and what we do.
Everybody's walking around like nothing's happening.
They have no idea.
This dude's sitting here fighting.
The average fan, 95% of the fans that are at the rodeos have no idea what we're battling or what we're going through or trying to accomplish. Really, they're just now kind of figuring out that we're paying to play. A lot of them thought we were getting paid to be there like a carny. I mean,
I know it.
That's why we have this podcast, my friend.
It's true.
So what's next? You got Odessa tonight. 2025 season's rolling. You're entered with your brother again.
Yep. Yeah. Up at Odessa this week. Up at Denver next week. Up at Fort Worth the next week. We should be getting callbacks in a couple days for Houston. So it's rolling into fruition. Hopefully.
Y'all ready?
I think so. Yeah. My brother's got a new horse. It's really, really good. Been roping good. And we've been jackpotting. We've been practicing at the house. I think it's gonna be good.
So what adjustments you make? Like, I mean, that's new horses the one, but do you even make adjustments, or you're like, well, we know we're capable and we just got to go be better?
No, we both been working on a lot of stuff at the house. I've been working on a couple younger horses, and my brother's been roping on 6 head of horses a day, working on stuff that he needs to work on that, that just like anything, just, you can't prepare for the summertime run, until in a way that what I'm trying to say is when you go out there, you don't know what you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way you learn is by doing it and by losing or, winning or whatever. But when you come home, there's always something that everyone probably needs to work on unless the guy's dialed or doesn't have figured out. But I know when I went out there my first year that there's a lot of things I needed to get better at. And you don't find those holes unless you go out there and, open yourself up, and the summer and the runs that you go do day to day, you'll find the holes in your roping and it'll expose you. So the only way you get exposure though is if you enter every single rodeo and you go to them 3-4 days a week, if not more. But
what do you got?
Well, this is a little bit of a change of subject, but I was thinking about how y'all both won Salinas together. And there's like, you've won a ton of buckles in your career. You've won a ton of buckles in your career. I wish there was like you're talking about that game board you and Braden used to play, but there was like a list of the most iconic rodeos, and y'all could start checking off. Like,
I have them in my head.
I know, but I wish there was like
the NFR average is way up there. I mean, you got world champion, NFR average, all around world champion, NFR average, go around. And then the rodeos, Houston, Cheyenne, Salinas, Calgary,
Pendleton,
Salinas,
San Antonio,
Calgary,
San Angelo. Would that be on there?
Angelo's up there in top 13 for sure.
Top 13.
Yeah, top 10, top 13. I don't know. We should do that.
We
can make a
come up
list.
with
We
a
could do
list.
that though. Yeah.
That'd be a good blogger or something.
Reno.
Yeah.
Spurs. That's what's cool is what I've really enjoyed in my career is the doing 2 events has allowed me to win a couple all arounds. And that's what it's a good boost for my confidence, but it's cool it's a good prize deal. I mean, there's a lot of times a lot of committees outwork themselves and give good all around prizes, and so that's what it makes it some icing on the cake for sure.
Yeah, because that $10,000, I mean, in 40 years that 10,000 will be long gone, but you can look up on the counter or on the table, and see those spurs or that buckle and just think about the memories that you made and the life that you got to live, that you're blessed to live. I mean,
yeah.
Oh, 10,000, you put $200 in a stock, in 50 years it won't be gone.
Hopefully not.
What is a Cowboys Roth IRA? Do y'all do that? Do Cowboys do that?
Some do. I do.
Yeah. No, a Cowboys Roth is a good horse.
Good horse, good truck, and a good trailer.
And a good woman by your side.
Yeah.
Thanks, Peyton.
Thank you, guys.
Like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know what you think. Every Tuesday, let's freaking rodeo. Look out for merch. Big stuff coming. 2025 going to be a great year. God bless y'all.